Chapter 3. My Spacesuit. I cut the power and Star Jumper settled back to the floor. From now on, it's just you and me, Star Jumper, I said out loud. We're going places. New worlds are calling to us, and the universe is the limit. I was so excited that my hands were shaking. Calm down, I told myself. You're not ready yet, not by a long shot. For one thing, you still need to make yourself a spacesuit. I didn't have the right stuff in my plastic bins or closet to make a good spacesuit, but I was pretty sure I'd find everything I needed in our attic. When I opened my bedroom door, Jonathan was standing there with a big, squinty-eyed grin on his face. "So how's my castle?" he asked. "Is it ready yet?" One look at Star Jumper and his big grin turned into a pout. "Hey, wait a minute. Where's my castle?" "I never said I'd build you a castle," I told him. "Yes, you did," he insisted. "A castle with turrets and a moat and a drawbridge, and you were going to be my horse and bring me breakfast in bed." "Did I mention that my brother is delusional?" "Horses don't serve breakfast in bed," I snapped and shoved him out of the way. "They do if you're the king. Kings eat anything they want whenever they want it. They can take baths in whipped cream if they want to." He was walking so close behind me it made my skin creep. Remember how Peter Pan lost his shadow and Wendy sewed it on for him? Well, it's like that, only the opposite, with my little brother. Jonathan wants to get rid of my shadow so he can take its place. When I reached the pull-down steps in the hall, I told him, "Look, I'm going upstairs to the attic now, and you're afraid of all the spiders and cobwebs and vampire bats that live up there. So why don't you do yourself a favor and go outside and play in traffic or something?" Jonathan tried to look tough, but I could tell I had scared him. He hates bats, even fake Halloween bats. "Who says there are bats in the attic?" "No one has to say it," I told him. "It's a fact." Of course I was making all this up. I just wanted to get rid of him. I could tell it was working because the blood was starting to drain from his face. "Well, I don't care about spiders or cobwebs or bats. They don't scare me one bit," said Jonathan. But he didn't follow me into the attic. He just sat on the rug in the hall and waited for me to come down. The attic has got to be my most favorite place in our house. Both my parents are pack rats. They never throw anything away. It all goes up into the attic with stuff from my grandparents and yard sales and things that got left behind by the last owners of the house. It's like a museum up there. A museum of odds and ends, dusty old stuff from long ago, and just plain junk. Pack rats. Mom, Dad. It only took me a few minutes to find everything I need. Some tubing from an old vacuum cleaner, a cracked motorcycle helmet, a hat box, one of my dad's old snowsuits from when he was a kid. Spacesuit design. It's amazing what you can build from common household items. I'm surprised nobody else seems to know this. It must be one of the best kept secrets in the world. When I climbed down from the attic, Jonathan was busy at work on a new set of crayon drawings. "It won't be hard to make that dumb spaceship into a cool castle," he said, poking his crayon at the paper. "See, all you have to do is make a few changes." I tried to get to my room before he could sneak in, but carrying all that stuff slowed me down. As I closed my bedroom door, I saw Jonathan's foot disappear under my bed. Once he's under there, it's impossible to pry him out. Even poking at him with a hockey stick doesn't work. I thought about complaining to my mom, but I knew that would only create a big scene. In the end, I'd still have to listen to him shout and pound on my door. Sometimes when stuff like this happens, I lose it, have a tantrum, and start throwing things. But not today. Just be cool. I told myself, let the worm spy on you all he wants. At least that way he'll be quiet. So I pretend that Jonathan wasn't under my bed and started constructing my oxygen generator. An empty egg carton, Mom's old cheese grater, 1 tuna fish can, a ball of string, 2 birthday candles. Materials for oxygen generator. It took about 25 minutes to build and install the oxygen generator in the hat box. After a quick test, I inserted the vacuum cleaner hose in the hat box lid. Then I ran the other end of the hose to the motorcycle helmet and sealed everything with duct tape. I was moving right along until I ran out of tape. No big deal, I thought. There's another roll in the junk drawer in the kitchen. It will only take me a minute to run downstairs to get it. I was so involved in my work that I totally forgot about Jonathan until I ran into Mom in the kitchen making dinner. "Have you seen your little brother?" she asked. "I haven't heard a peep out of him for quite a while." "He's in my room," I said as I found the tape and closed the door. "Oh, that's nice," she smiled. "I'm glad you two are playing quietly for a change. Don't go far. Dinner will be ready soon." Playing with Jonathan? Sometimes I wonder if my mom knows me at all. I had only been gone a few minutes, but I was starting to worry. I ran upstairs, taking 3 steps at a time. When I opened my bedroom door, my worst fear was staring me in the face. Jonathan was no longer under my bed. He was inside Starjumper. His hands were on the controls, and he was grinning like a maniac. "Hey, this thing works great," he cried as Starjumper lifted off the floor and drifted toward the ceiling. Chapter 4. The Problem. "You little creep!" I jumped onto my bed and reached into Starjumper. I flipped the main power unit off, guided the ship back to the floor, and yanked Jonathan out. All I did was push one button, and wow! "You're lucky you didn't push the one that says Mega Jump, or you'd be lost in space by now," I said, and shoved him toward the door. "You're just saying that, right?" "Try it and see," I told him. "Now get out of here. I've got important things to do." "No way," he yelled, crossing his arms over his chest. "If you throw me out, I'll tell Mom what you're up to." That's just like Jonathan. First word out of his mouth when he was a baby was Mom. But that was only because he was getting ready to use it in a sentence. "I'll tell Mom." In the sentence, "I'll tell Mom." Actually, Jonathan was a cute baby. I even liked him a little back then. He had a way of smiling at you that was sort of nice. Then he started to walk and talk and stick to me like a fresh coat of paint. It didn't take long before that cute little smile made me want to puke. "You tell Mom what I'm doing and I'll stick you in that spaceship and send you to Pluto," I threatened. "Pluto, the dog at Disney World?" he replied cheerfully. "No, Pinhead, Pluto, the planet." "I think you might like that," he said. "No, you wouldn't," I told him. "Pluto is the farthest planet from the sun. You'd freeze to death in an instant." "Doesn't matter if I tell Mom. She'll take it away from you. Kids aren't supposed to have real spaceships. Even pinheads know that." "He's a smart little brat. I'll give him that much." "Okay, you can stay in my room, but keep your mouth shut and don't touch anything." "Deal," he said. "In fact, you have to stay in my bed. Got it?" "Got it," he answered, jumping headfirst into my pillows. "You better," I said. "If your toes so much as touch the floor, I'm going to send you across the galaxy into a black hole." For once, Jonathan kept his word. He was perfectly still and quiet, watching my every move. Just as I finished my spacesuit, Mom called us down for dinner. It was my favorite, spaghetti and meatballs, but I had to eat with my eyes closed. That may sound strange, but you'd want to close your eyes too if you had to sit across from my brother at the dinner table. I know it's hard to believe, but Mom and Dad still let him eat with his hands. It's so disgusting to watch. If I don't shut my eyes, I might throw up. Jonathan picks up the spaghetti like a handful of worms as he looks for the longest strand on the plate. Then he sucks it through his puckered lips with a slurping sound, splattering spaghetti sauce all over his cheeks and nose. Sometimes he even manages to get sauce on his forehead. It's almost impossible to watch without gagging. But Mom and Dad don't seem to mind. When I complain, they just say things like, "Kids grow up too fast nowadays. Let him have his childhood." Childhood? My little brother eats like a wild animal. I had hoped Jonathan would keep to our bargain, but of course he didn't. As Mom brought out dessert, he said, "You should see what Alex is making in his room." I gave him a dirty look and kicked him under the table. Hard. I know it had to hurt. But the creep just smiled while spaghetti sauce dripped like vampire blood down his chin. He didn't wince. Jonathan's incredible that way. When he doesn't want to show pain, he can withstand a bazooka blast without flinching. But when he wants to get you in trouble, watch out. Then all you have to do is nudge his elbow by mistake, and he'll turn on the tears and make enough noise to knock plates off the shelf. "You have a very talented older brother," said Alex. "What is it you're making this time?" said Dad. "What is it you're making this time, Alex?" "Well, it's a castle," said Jonathan, "and it's just for me." "Isn't that sweet?" said my mom, plopping some peach cobbler in front of me. "I'm glad to know you two are finally expressing the positive side of your relationship. I'll have to come up and see the castle after your dad and I finish with the dishes." "No," said Jonathan. "It's a surprise. You can't see it until it's finished." "That's right," I added. "You can't see it until it's finished." After dinner, Jonathan tried to get back in my room, but I barred the doorway. "You're banished." "What for?" he asked. "I didn't tell." "For being a monster. Besides, I'm not done expressing the negative side of our relationship." Just then, Dad called Jonathan to watch his favorite TV show, Thursday Night Wrestling, and he scooted downstairs. What a relief. I locked my bedroom door and got to work solving my next major problem, how to get Starjumper, which is much too big to fit through a window or a door out of my bedroom. My original plan was to wait until everyone is asleep and then carry her piece by piece into the backyard. With a little luck, I'll have just enough time to put her back together and blast off before anyone realized what I was up to. I guess it was an okay plan, but I was starting to worry about going up and down the stairs in the middle of the night. What would I do if someone woke up? If only I could take off on my journey into outer space from inside my bedroom. What a crazy idea, I thought. Then my eyes wandered over to my desk and I saw Einstein.